Hello, precious people. I'm Jacqueline Parks, and welcome to my studio, Stampin' Turtles. I'm excited to show you some quick and easy tips on doing reflections in water. Let me see if I am actually. Oh, there is sound. That is good. I just double check because sometimes I don't know. We just gotta make sure, right? I'm a one-woman show here. I'm doing all my own um, camera work. Camera work, y'all. I know how to use OBS and all that. Anyways, so today we are doing some reflections in watercolor. I wanted to show you what I did just this morning. This is my newest watercolor. I'm not sure if it's done. It's definitely something that I did, and I was kind of like, well, maybe it's okay. Let me see. So this is what I did this morning. And I'm going to change my little light over here and see if I can get a little more light on that. So it's kind of cool. This was an AI generated image that I asked the computer to create for me. And it was an oak tree with some in the bay with the sunrise or sunset. And I just liked it because of the reflections of the rocks in the water and the tree in the water. And so I thought this would be something fun to kind of paint and see how we do it. For me, I think this needs more contrast in it, but another thing I just found on the internet that I think might be more fun to paint today for you guys. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Um, it's kind of hard to see it with my lights reflecting, but I do like this a lot better. And there is a person in the center, which I would probably take that out because I just like I like the colors too in this one, and I think it'd be a little easier for y'all to follow along than trying to paint this massive tree. So let us move that over, and we'll put my paper right here. Let me zoom out just a little bit because I think it'd be easier to see what I'm doing right now. Also, a thing that I've been not really doing with you guys too much is telling you what paper I'm using. So today I'm using this Canson Graduate. I think I got this at Walmart. It's got 20 sheets. It's cold press. It is 117 pounds. So it's not my recommended watercolor paper. But if you're trying to do things and you're just trying to learn and you're not trying to make something for a commission, you're not trying to make something for to sell to other people, and you're just trying to practice, right? So you want to have something that's kind of quick and easy to use and keep on hand, and you won't feel upset if you mess up with it. So, and this is 9 by 12, which I've cut in half. So this is probably 6 by 9, right? So this 6 by 9 size is perfect for doing some fun little things to practice, right? And as always, I have my wonderful watercolors that I bought. This pan originally, it was like from Hobby Lobby for like $5-10. And I really love the setup of this pan. I like all the colors. And so as I've used up the colors, which you can see, some of these are almost empty, right? My sap green's almost empty. So I do refill them, and I use watercolor. I use my. Let me show you what I use. And I find that it's good to buy from reputable places when you're buying watercolors. So I actually go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but I have bought some off of Amazon, and I feel like these things I've bought off of Amazon, they may be counterfeit. I have no idea because they don't seem to be that great, and I know people who said that they're wonderful paints or whatever, and it's like, well, I don't find that they're wonderful, but that could just be because I bought them from Amazon. I've been finding stuff that's already open from Amazon. Look at these. I use so much permanent sap green. I like go through this like water. Like water. What's this one? No, that's yellow shade. I don't know what that is. Don't know what that one is. Here's another sap green. All gone. All gone, y'all. I need to buy like a case of them. Something. Anyways, these are just my little watercolors that I like. You know what? I haven't used this in a while. This is called oh no, that's yellow deep. This one is the gold. Green gold, and I think it's dangerous, so definitely don't get this on your skin or in your mouth. But let's see what it does. It's dangerous. Let's do it. Let's live on the edge, y'all. Live on the edge. So I'm going to put some off to the side on here on my little palette here because, come on. You ever have a hard time opening these? I did buy a tool that helps me open them. Ooh, look at that color. It's so green. But I think it looks yellow when you paint with it. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. Ugh. Just dropped it all over myself. Luckily, this stuff is waterproof, or water. You can wash it. It's waterable. Water washable. Soap and water. I don't know what's going on with this lid. I don't want to shut. Okay. So this I thought I'd also show you. This is one of a set of 5 watercolor brushes, and I used to buy it at Hobby Lobby, but now I'm buying it at Michael's. My daughter works at Michael's, and I'm getting discounts now because of her employee discount, which is awesome. I highly recommend if you have a child, have them work at Michael's, and you get some good things from that. So now I just rinse this off, but you know it does come with other paint brushes. So it's called Minta, I think, and it's I wish I had all. Do I have all 4 of them? I do. Okay, so if you go to Michael's, I think it's Langford and something. I'll try and pull it up later, but look for these teal handles. Oh wait, maybe it's right here. Royal and Langnickel. That's what it is. Minta watercolors. And they come with different sizes. So my favorite out of all of these is this one. I love this one. It's a round, I think it's size 12. It's all worn off. If I ever design brushes for y'all, I'm going to make sure it's engraved because you just never know. And then this one too is very good. It's a flat, and we're going to start with the flat, then we'll switch to this one. I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do. So if you're going to be doing a reflection in the sky and in the water, from the sky to the water, what I recommend you do is wet your page. So I'm wetting right in the middle, and I'm going up, and I'm going down. I hear rain. Is it raining where you guys are? I hear the rain, y'all. It's crazy how we get it every day. There's rain. Now remember, this paper is a little cheaper. It's 117 pound. It's not 140. I recommend. It's just using this for practicing. So right now I've got it kind of shiny. You can see there's shiny there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that little bit of that green gold and see what happens. Okay. Do I want? Is it kind of like a green or is it kind of like a yellow? Let's see. It is kind of like a yellow. I like it. Do you like that color? It's kind of different. Let's try it. So now I'm going to go across the middle of my paper here that I just wet. Okay, so that's going to be my center. But I'm looking at the picture, and the picture is more orange. So now instead of that yellow, I'm going to mix this. I like these two together. Ooh, they're going all over. Now I'm going to go here and here. So you might be thinking, oh, that's going to look awful. We'll see. Sometimes things do look a little weird after. And I'm just using my water to blend them. Same with down here. I'm going to blend it up. And if you get too much on there, just lift it. The only problem with practicing on paper that is kind of cheap is that you get used to working with it. And then when you go and you switch to your nice quality papers, you're going to be like, well, this is reacting a little different. And that's okay. I feel like it'll be something where you just have to relearn a little bit just to know. But when and I'm not quite to the reflections yet on this, because we're gonna have to talk about timing on this, because timing is everything when you're getting your reflections. And so this one, we're definitely got this nice yellow in here. We've got some oranges. I'm going to switch to this brush. And I forgot, I wanted to put a little bit of blue up here. And sometimes when we're doing this, it'll mix with that other color below it. But if it's still really wet, it's gonna blend really pretty. So now we're gonna do the bottom too. And see how I wet my brush a lot. Wet my brush a lot and blend it. Okay. Don't be afraid of water. Water is your friend. Look. Like we like water. When we're painting with watercolor, we like it. Okay? And see, I'm just kind of putting this down. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to get some color on the paper. And see how we do whatever we do at the top, we do at the bottom, okay? Look at that. So that's looking really, really good, I think. Kind of hard to see on the camera. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. See that? It's kind of real pale. I'm not trying to make something super dark right now. I'm just trying to make the colors, and as they dry, they're gonna still blend a little bit because it's wet. And I kind of like that a lot, to be honest. And then we're gonna go in with that horizon. We're gonna have some trees over here that are reflecting, and some darker clouds that are reflecting. So let's go ahead and mix up our color for that. I use this Payne's Gray. And it is really dark. But I might add a little purple into that. mixing more than one color together just to make it really pretty and unique. So no one else is going to have that exact same color, right? Because I'm mixing it myself. All right, now we're going to go in, we're going to do some colors right here. And then whatever's above, we're going to do below. So we're going to do that right here. And I do see some purple on this. And I like how this is looking kind of streaky. And so that looks really good. But below, we need this stuff below now. And see, I'm getting a lot more in here. And you just kind of are doing what you see above and what you see below. I do like this. This looks like it's connecting. So that's starting to look really pretty. I like there's little separations there. And see how it's bleeding? That is really cool. I like that look. But now I'm noticing there's some orange mixed in with that. So look what I just did. I mixed a little bit of orange in that blue. And we're going to add a couple more clouds down here that are a little more orange. And see how that's looking? I'm trying very hard to keep my eye on the photo that I'm using. So there's a photo right here. And I'm trying to match the colors a little bit. And there's a horizon line like somewhere right in here. But because I want it to be kind of sharp in there, I mean, there are a couple little things. That's my horizon, okay? And there are mountains in the background. So now I've got that. It's still really wet. My paper's really, really wet. We're just letting it do its thing. And because it's still really wet, I can't add anything that's going to be staying in place. So we're just going to let that dry. Do y'all have any questions? Hey, June's House of Crafts. Hello, how's it going? Thank you for saying it's pretty. I always feel like there's an ugly stage with every watercolor painting I start. It's like, oh, do I like it? Is it looking good? So sometimes we're waiting for that moment where it starts to look good. But I do like these colors, and I like doing a lot of really loose abstract feeling paintings. So I may do more of this on a larger scale with nice paper. But this is definitely fun to do as a little exercise on how to do reflections. So whatever's above the water, you want to mirror it below the water. And that's not always the case. It depends on the angle of the camera and everything where, you know, it could be pointed more towards the sky, so you would get less reflections in the water that are mirrors. But this looks like it's straight on, so it's definitely like the same that's above is below. And so that's really cool. And I just found this off the internet. I don't even know if I can give anyone credit, but you know, I figure if I'm making it and I'm changing something, which I'm removing the guy that's in the picture, I'm definitely using some different colors. If you're just joining me, I am using this that I bought off Amazon. It's Green Gold by Mary Blue, and I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's called green gold, and it looks green when it comes out of the tube, but it's like this weird yellow, greenish yellow. So I don't know. It's kind of cool. I like playing with different things. In fact, there's some watercolors on sale in the clearance aisle at Michael's that I was thinking about trying. It's the Daniel Smith Permatex. So they're like supposedly have precious gems crushed up in the paint. I watched a few videos on YouTube, so I don't know if I'm gonna buy them because a lot of times they're just not as vibrant, I guess, as some of the other colors you can use. So I may try one color, but they are $10 a tube, which if I buy this permanent watercolor by Winsor Newton, 5 milliliters, it is $10 a tube. So you get 15 milliliters of that Permatex stuff for $10. So that's probably a good deal. If you want to try them out, you totally can. All right, you see how I'm like just sitting here talking to y'all, and we're letting this kind of dry. This paper I've noticed stays wet a lot longer than other cheap watercolor paper, so I don't know why that is. So if you like your paper to stay wet longer, definitely think about trying this Canson. It's not Canson XL. It's just it says Graduate, so I think it's a student brand or just a really cheaper brand. Not cheaper brand, cheaper level. So sometimes that works out good. Sometimes not so much. So I'm going to go and I'm going to test this a little bit with my brush, okay? So I have a dry brush kind of, and I'm going to dip it in some of my Payne's Gray, and let's see if we just don't dilute this, what happens. So I'm doing like these trees. I think I want to mix it with a little bit of blue, Payne's Gray, and I like using my burnt sienna. I gotta rehydrate these sometimes, so come on. Let's see what happens when we mix that in there. Can you see what I'm mixing? Sometimes I forget to look. One time I filmed the side of my head the whole time, so that one was deleted. That was sad. All right, now see, it's still really kind of wet in there. I'm seeing it kind of blurring, but that's okay because look at how there's like down here, there's some reflection. And then so above, I'm going to make that a little bit more, I'm going to try and make that a little more less blurry. This is going to be some reflection. And it looks like it's kind of dry in some spots. We'll see. And remember, you're the artist, so you can interpret things however you want. If you want to make some of the mountains bigger or some of the trees taller, feel free to do that. Like, you have every right to change things however you want. I may end up putting some more right here and some right up in here. See how I'm just kind of doing this a little bit willy-nilly. So it's just kind of fun. Yeah, it's just fun. I'm having fun. I don't know about you guys, but I'm having fun. Now this area seems to be really wet, probably because I've been putting a lot of paint and water there. So I may go back and do something over here because it looks like it needs a little more purple. What do you think? Let's add a little purple down there. Yeah, that's really purple though. So depending on how wet your paper is, you can keep adding to it. And then I just like to use clean water and kind of soften some of those edges. So I like that. I think that looks a little more realistic down there with the purple. I'm seeing, like in here, I gotta zoom in. Sometimes you gotta zoom in. And you see there's like these speckles. That's actually sand, wet sand, but it looks like water. Um, but I like how there's some ripples in the water right there. So I'm definitely thinking about doing that part. I need to switch brushes. So let me get that smaller brush. And this one has like a little angle. I don't know. We'll try it. I don't use this one as much. So I'm just going to dip my orange, use some of this yellow, use some of my burnt sienna, use a little bit of this burnt umber. I like mixing both my browns. I've tried a few raw umber, raw sienna, but they're not as dark, and I like dark. Alright, so now I'm going to do this thing where it's just kind of like these little guys. They're kind of coming down right there. And I feel like there's some more right here. And I do kind of like doing some funky stuff. So we're experimenting. And see how I'm making these little lines? Those are always important when you want to do water. Give the illusion of water. But I'm feeling like this needs to be darker over here, and it's still really wet. I don't know. It's doing something over there. But I'm just letting my eyes follow. And when you let your eyes do the work, that's when the magic happens. Sometimes we try and make our brains do the work. Our brains have too much going on with them anyways. We need to start letting our brains rest and let our eyes do some of this work. Right? I feel that way anyways. Now, noticing that I could add a little bit more of that orange up here if it's not too late. And I'm just doing it with some a wet brush. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Like I said, use something, use some cheap paper, y'all, and then you won't be all stressed out. So, I may add some more in here. I'm kind of moving stuff over, trying to get it to look kind of pretty. I think it'll look pretty. You know what's crazy is I was using some Crayola paints the other day, and I made this abstract painting with them. And my friend, who's an interior designer, she actually went and had it framed, and she really liked it. And I was like, I guess it doesn't really matter. Sometimes you can use something as cheap as Crayola, right? So now I'm just adding layers. So for me, watercoloring is all about these layers. So I'm trying very hard to get these layers in there. And I do like this more bright orange down in there. It's not so much above, which I think is funny. But making this a little darker. Because these have some clouds, so it's kind of fun to make that darker color in there, because they're like some kind of lower to the ground clouds, I think. And I'm just rinsing my brush. I always rinse my brush, dry it, and like can lift. So don't be afraid if you make a mistake to lift it out. You can do that. I'm really liking how it looks on camera. I don't know how it looks in real life. Like, I think in real life it's a little strange, but I think it's getting there. So, now I'm gonna add some of that Payne's Gray concoction I made right here. I think it was like blue, maybe some purple. And we're gonna go back in with this darker layer. And I'm using this smaller brush. Whatever brush size you want to use, because I can use this one and get really detailed stuff because of practice. But if you're a newbie, you may want to have a smaller brush to do some of these more detailed stuff. There we go. That's looking really pretty. I may go back in over here and darken some of these clouds. And down here as well, because it's whatever is above is below. And I may end up putting some of these little things like that. That's looking really good. Next, I will show you another brush that is super important to have in your little stash. And it's called a rigger or script liner. Let me zoom in so you can see. See this nice pointy, long and pointy. This one is, and look at how this hasn't worn off. This is very good. Master's Touch script liner, and it's a 3/0. Oh, you can't even see because it's like, I want to zoom in on it. It's too tiny. But use one of these guys, and I'm using it with this blue. I might mix it in with that orange, okay? So we're doing kind of a mixture of that blue and this orange that we already had. I'm just gonna do a couple lines. Real tiny. Probably can't even see them. Trying to make it so you can see them. It's real little, so it's hard to see them. But what I like about it is you can just keep adding some ripples. See that? Now I'm just having fun doing some bigger ripples. Look at that. I like that. I'll put some from on the other side too. Now we're just letting my intuition, which I like to say the Holy Spirit is the one doing the painting. A lot of times that's how I feel. I feel like God is helping guide my hand. So I just kind of have fun. And I'm going to do some like really bigger ones, because the closer it is to you, the water ripples are a little bigger. See that? Just kind of fun. Those are fun looking stripies. So definitely I like this. I think it would be even better on higher quality paper. So definitely might try this again with the higher quality paper. But I'm liking how that looks. It looks like someplace around here that over the bay, Mobile Bay, something like that. It's been raining so much here though. Oh my goodness, like every day it's raining. So that looks really good. I like how that's looking. Oh, thank you. June's House of Crafts is so pretty. Thank you. kind of like it. I don't know if I want to mess with it anymore. I think I kind of like how it looks. And then if you notice in the photo the reference that I have, I mean, the colors are different. Um, it's really darker at the bottom in the photo. Maybe I could do a glaze. If you guys don't know what a glaze is, I can show you real quick because this is practice. Like I'm not afraid to mess up. Okay. So many times we're afraid to mess up, so we don't experiment with anything. Um, that's why I say, use the cheapest paper that you can afford, so that you at least are practicing and doing things. You don't want to start um, this craft if you're afraid to use the supplies. I know some people buy supplies and they love them and they're hoarding them. I have like so much behind me, like so much. But I feel like we should be um, using our supplies, right? We should use them. So I'm going to mix up a little bit more Payne's Gray with this purple. I feel like that purple is very dark and strong. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do like a little mixture here. See how much I got right there? And I think it's still really wet, but we're going to just go for it. And I love it. What do you think? Did I ruin it? Or is it prettier? I don't know. That's one of those things where time will tell. Gotta let it dry now, right? Gotta let it dry. I actually kind of like it. You love the colors? Thank you, June. I think they're really pretty. And like I feel like I'm getting closer to what the photo looks like. It's kind of hard to see on the screen in the camera because the reflections. I could add a lot more of a darker color in there. I try to mix what I see, but it doesn't always happen. See how this is still really wet, so it's not going to give me any layers. If you try and paint on wet paper, it's not going to do anything really. Gotta let it dry. And that's one thing I'm always impatient about, is letting things dry. I'm like, no. So I have a heat tool. This is from Stampin' Up, which I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator still, but you can get these at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and probably even Walmart now. I mean, Walmart has a lot of stuff, y'all. I would highly recommend shopping at Walmart. It's got a lot of stuff. Let's see if that helped at all. Sometimes just a little bit will help. Make it less damp. I'm going to do a little bit more. A little bit more Payne's Gray in there. So see how the Payne's Gray makes this purple more gray. I love Payne's Gray. I started keeping some at my studio in tubes if somebody in one of my classes wants to buy a little bit extra. And you see my paper's so ripply, y'all, and that's because it's that thinner paper. So you get that thicker paper and it will not ripple as much. But oh my gosh, it's like looking so good. I do really like it. It's nice when you like what you painted. But again, sometimes we get a little frustrated with watercolor because we're trying to achieve the final look with our first wash. Always, always, always trying to do that, right? If I had painted this darkest color the first go around, it would have spread out because the whole paper was wet, and it wouldn't have been like this. It would have moved into these areas and it would not have been as pretty. So you definitely need to think about that at the beginning. Don't try and make your paintings what it looks like for the final painting. You gotta let it do the layers. The layers are what's gonna make it. Um, Now for me, I'm looking at this in real life. Like, I love how it looks on the screen on my MacBook, but I'm looking at it in real life too, and I'm thinking I want a couple more darker areas. So I'm gonna go back in with this really thick mixture of Payne's Gray. And because of that, I'm going all the way across. And because I dried it, it's going to stick where I put it. So sometimes if you're having a hard time painting details because they're starting to get a little fuzzy on the edges, just remember to dry it a little bit, and then you can get those nice crisp edges if that's what you want. Okay? So I start with wet paper, but then I switch over, right? I switch over to dry paper, and then that's when I start to get these kind of details that I like. And they're not too fuzzy. Not too fuzzy. Now I like them fuzzy in the water, but not above. And I might even do some more thicker. Do need a little bit of water to get it to move. If it's not moving, add water. So now see, I'm just making these clouds a little bit more defined that are up here, right? A little bit more defined. And they're just kind of, there's a few more here and there. So kind of like that detail. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I zoom in a little bit. You can see what I'm doing a little better. So see how I added some of that darker Payne's Gray up here, just pure. Drop it in there. Look at how it just flows. I love that. It's so pretty. I think part of what I like about watercolors is just watching what the paint does on the paper, because it just makes me kind of happy. Kind of happy how it looks. And see, that is defined, whereas this is kind of blurryish. So I like that. And there's a little reflection of the light, but that's okay. That's okay. Or just let it be like it is. Some people like to add a little bird flying. I don't know if I want to do that. I do kind of want to add some more of my lines in here. So I'm going back to my little rigger. I'm going to dip it into that purple color. And I'm just going to add a couple little, oh, it's still really wet down there. So all of this down here is kind of wet, but it's okay. I'm having kind of fun watching what it does. And you can't learn if you don't try. Gotta keep trying. So see, I'm just adding a couple of those little streakies to make it look like water. Now, the thicker your paint is on your brush, the more it'll stay in place. So see, I'm just kind of doing a couple more little darker ones right there, a couple more over there. I just kind of like doing these. And it just looks really pretty, I think. It's loose, it's abstract, it's fine. It's fine. I could even go back in here and do some darker areas. Ooh, some hair. This paint, my paints were out on my dining room table, and my precious kitty cat likes to go on that table and be part of what I'm doing. She's always wanting, she's very curious, wants to see what I'm doing. So there, I just added darker areas right there. Might add some more of this nice dark purple colors. And I like that because it's so dark. And sometimes I just like adding thicker areas too. And this is looking really good. I like it. I like it. I like it. So tell me, what do you guys think? You want to experiment with this some more? I was thinking we could do more than one, but it's almost time. It's almost been an hour, believe it or not. That flew by fast to me. Did it fly by fast for you? It flew by fast for me. But definitely this is something I gotta let it dry now because it's saturated with a lot of water. Some people like to even tip it on its side like this and let it just flow. So when you're painting larger ones, you could do that. You could put a little paint on one side and let it drip. I like doing stuff like that. I like just adding some crazy paint right onto the paper and letting it drip using a spray bottle. But this is looking pretty good. I could even add on something like this. I could add some scripture up here. I could handwrite it in there. Or I could just leave it plain like this. I could have it framed. So my daughter's working at Michael's now, and she frames all kinds of stuff for me now. I'm like, yay, you know what? Someone can frame my artwork for me because I am like, I don't like framing at all. It is intimidating to me. I've tried cutting my own mats. I bought one of those mat cutters and it was like, no, it's so stressful. So I'll just take my art to her and she can do it. I think I'll show you guys this up close again because I think, which is really pretty up close too. Look at that. It's just different. It's just different. I love it though. It's really cool. I feel like I would want to go out on a boat there and just enjoy watching the sunset. Oh yes, June, you'll have to watch from the beginning. It was I used that green gold, Mary, whatever this stuff is. But it has like a little warning on it. It's extremely bad for you. It's got copper in it. I don't know. But hey, we live on the edge here, right? These are trying times. So I like to live on the edge. And if you know me and my channel at all, you know I like to end my videos with a little bit of scripture. This was the next one in my little packet that my friend gave me, and it's cool because she had it, it has my name in the scripture, so it's like personalized for me, which I feel like every time I read the Bible, it's God speaking to me anyways. So that was just really a nice gift my friend Cindy gave me. So this one says it's Job 11, 18, and 19, and it says, you will have courage, Jacqueline, because you will have hope. You will take your time and rest in safety. You will lie down unafraid, and many will look to you for help. I don't know. It kind of goes along with this whole painting thing that I'm doing. It's like take courage, and then you need to take your time because you got to let this water rest and dry before you add more layers. So, and then you have hope that it turns out okay, right? So that's just me. I like to think that scripture relates to everything. Like everything in my life, you go to the Bible and it can help. So I want you guys to know that I do love y'all. I pray for you like every day. And I just hope that today you find time to try this new technique, or if it's not new, but just like go for it. If you've tried it before, give it another go using some of the techniques that I used. But yeah, I just really love you guys, and I hope you have a blessed day. Mwah!